Live from Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, this is Galaxy TV News. Let's get things started. Crises and shooting reported as All Progressive Congress (APC) and People's Democratic Party (PDP) hold congresses nationwide. Plus on the news, Lagos Commissioner of Police assures residents of safety of lives and properties. And outside Nigeria, Russia records 1,000 COVID-related deaths in a single day for the first time since the pandemic began. Those are our top stories. We have details in just a moment. And now, wherever you're watching from around the world, we are live from our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria. I am Kelly Egiga. On our first story on the news, despite warnings from the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Hakeem Odumusu, against EndSARS anniversary protest, which is scheduled for Wednesday, 20th October, asking organizers to halt their plans or avoid blockage of major roads, protesters have reportedly continued with arrangement. Galaxy's Daniel Tanimu reports that the CP said the police is proactive in making sure lives and properties are secured, adding that Nigerians cannot afford to relive the distasteful experience of last year's protests, which caused destruction of public and private property. Commissioner of Police in Lagos also noted that the police will be on full alert on Wednesday at the protest ground to ensure that there is law and order among protesters, so it is not hijacked by hoodlums.
But assurance is that in as long as they have the right to protest, to spread their feelings under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria now, that we must work in synergy. So that they too that want to protest, they needed to be protected. They are Nigerians too, it's their duty and it's their right for us to protect them. So that's why I just want security. Anyone they want to do, just let us meet at a point to make sure that they are protected. That's what we have. We don't want miscreants to hijack it. Because we know that the last episode we have now, it was not those who actually planned the end process, the EndSARS that eventually executed it, that led to that one-to-one discussion of life and property. This is Lagos, and that Wednesday is a working day. It's economy of the nation, economy of the state. So that if you know now, we have to plan, if you need to plan alternative routes for those who want to go their normal business, you don't protest for people's interest and block those who are under medical challenges, who want to go to hospital. You don't protest now and block road for those who are under emergency. If, for example, now
Well, let's stay with the EndSARS protests as we get further insights. Omoyele Sowore, publisher, Sahara Reporters, joins us live on the news, is also a former presidential candidate. Well, thank you so much for agreeing to speak with us. Perhaps we should begin with just why do you think it's so important and crucial to celebrate the one-year anniversary of the EndSARS protest, taking into consideration policemen, Nigerians that lost their lives, as well as properties destroyed across the country last year? Well, perhaps we will see how we can connect with Sowore again. I was just informed a moment ago he was on standby, former presidential candidates and publisher of Sahara Reporters, who's supposed to be with us on the news. Hopefully we can reconnect with him and get further insights as regards to the EndSARS protest, which is scheduled for Wednesday, October 20. But let's shift our focus now to other stories. As a former commissioner for rural development in Lagos, Cornelius Ojelabi on Saturday emerged state chairman of the All Progressive Congress (APC). His emergence as APC Lagos State Chairman followed the party's nationwide state congress held to fill the state executives. A total of 1,615 delegates were accredited to vote in 36 positions, while 35 returned unopposed. For chairmanship position, 2 forms were received, while the other was disqualified. The newly elected leaders of the APC in the state urged members to conduct themselves peacefully, adding that the state congress followed the party's guidelines. Some of the party members said the state congress was a success and would no doubt reposition the party in the state, as well as promote unity among its members. While Sumi Adesoya emerged as the state secretary of the APC Lagos, Moshood Olarewaju emerged as the deputy state chairman of the party, and Cornelius Jalabi as the state chairman of the party here in Lagos.
Our immediate assignment now is to consolidate, to grow the party, to expand and bring in more members into the party. In our collective efforts, it is our responsibility to go out there and really mobilize our members. More importantly, the youths.
I'm convinced and I'm certain that the leadership is appropriate. There are square holes in square pegs, you know, and the man that will be leading them now, like his resume, he's a man that has been trusted, tested.
Because what they look at is not about you and I, it's about what is general, what is good, what is permissible, and what makes a lot of sense, and what could be justified. Deep internally, they can justify their actions, and majority of leadership who form the inner caucus of the leadership can agree with that position.
The state congress is the ESCO of the party, state ESCO of the party, and they are to oversee everything, all activities of the both local government and everything. They are to oversee it and everything.
For the success of today's exercise, of course, a lot of things have been prepared by the officials of the Lagos State Executive Council for the committee to assist the committee. A committee has been put in place to help them get everything that they need around here.
The chairman and his executives could well determine the course of the party over the next 4 years. So this Congress is very, very important.
Lagos, we are always proactive. I just come from the TBS because the national assignment, not a party assignment. So that's why we've deployed adequately to make sure that ministers don't take charge or don't have opportunity to do anything. So with the hands is just a night.
This is Galaxy TV News. We will come back to the state congresses as held in many parts of the country, but let's go back now to Abuja, the nation's capital, where Omoyele Sowore, publisher, Sahara Reporters, and former presidential candidate joins us live to share his views on the planned EndSARS protests. Well, Sowore, just a moment ago I was asking just why do you think and crucial to celebrate 1-year anniversary of the EndSARS protests, especially taking into consideration the fact that policemen and Nigerians lost their lives as well as properties last year.
Well, you just said it. You have just explained why there must be a commemoration and a memorial. It's going to be a commemoration because this is one of the most powerful mass action that's ever taken place in Nigeria's history, EndSARS. And it's going to be a memorial because people were actually murdered. They were assassinated at Lekki Tollgate and other parts of Nigeria for expressing their rights to peaceful assembly. Several days, particularly on October the 20th, 2020. So there's nowhere in the world that you have such a massive mass action that has brought about such a big impact that you don't celebrate them, so that it leads you to a different path in the future of the country. And where people have been killed and there are deniers and their bodies are being hidden, we have a duty to ensure that those guys lay down their lives. Lekki Tollgate, in particular, other parts of Nigeria, fighting against police brutality. And in a way, fighting for the expansion of the democratic space in Nigeria, remembered on that day. So there's no question about it.
Well, sure. The audio connection doesn't seem too clear, but perhaps you could also share with us the fears of the federal government as well as the Nigeria Police Force. They have appealed against the planned protest because it may be hijacked by hoodlums. Don't you think it is better to avoid such a scenario?
The law is very clear that whenever there's a protest, where the protesters, organizers have declared that they want to have a peaceful protest, it is the duty of the police to protect them. What we saw with NSAS in 2020 was that the government, in particular, in Lagos in particular, where I participated, government forced the hoodlums to go and attack peaceful protesters. People were attacked and injured in Abuja, 2 people died. There's a hoodlum, the leader of the hoodlum, who came in the official bus of the Lagos State government to attack people in front of the Lagos Secretariat. His picture is all over the place. We should stop calling Nigerians hoodlums. There are no hoodlums. This is people in government who refuse to protect the interests of the people when they are protesting peacefully, which is their fundamental rights, that are hoodlum in nature. It is people in government who pay these hoodlums, drive them around in official government vehicles to attack peaceful protesters that are hoodlums. So there's nobody who participated in NSAS last year. All of them well known, most of them very popular, some of them international music artists who can be called hoodlums. We know that. We know the people who are hoodlums, and we know the people who cause the hoodlums to
allegations.
So why should we keep
perhaps we should
this in the media that they were hoodlums?
Yes, indeed, there are very, very weighty allegations. Let me also ask you this, because I mean there are also some controversy surrounding what exactly we are looking at. Some people say probably the language is what the police is probably concerned and worried about. So is it anniversary, or is it a remembrance? Is it a protest? What exactly are we looking at?
The police doesn't have the right to tell people how to design their protest, what to call it, what nomenclature to use, how to brand it. That is the prerogative of the protesters. If you like it, you can call it an anniversary, you can call it a memorial, you can call it any name you want. The police is not a language institution that tells people what language to use in public. No, it is the right of people to determine what they call it. The duty of the police is to protect Nigerians, protect protesters when there are peaceful protests. And they know how to do this when they want to do the right thing. But what we are doing here is that the police has become a VIP protection unit that's always harassing and beating up people, killing them. And it was this excessive action of the police that led to NSAS in the first place. The police should entirely have cooperated and be very sober at this time, considering the fact that the people who protested against them last year are still very angry. And there have been panels that have been set up that have indicted police officers. They have not tried any one of them. It was when they knew that there's going to be another NSAS that they were announcing yesterday. The vice president was announcing that they're going to start trying the policemen and that they're going to start compensating people, including people who they said are NSAS victims. These are the same people that denied that nobody was killed during NSAS. They are running around helter-skelter now because they have discovered that the young people in this country have found their voice through NSAS last year, and they're going to back on the street regardless of what the police think of it, because the police is a servant of the people. The police is not to lord its weapons purchased by taxpayers' money.
Yes, so just before perhaps I'll let you go, there were indeed demands by the protesters last year, 5 for 5 or 7 for 7. At some points, the demands was even conflicting. But in your opinion, has those demands been met just yet?
They haven't been met. In fact, it was yesterday that the vice president issued a statement that they are going to meet some of the demands because they were jittery that people are going to come out en masse on Wednesday. And in Abuja, they set up a panel to look into NSAS violence. They paused the panel, muted the panel for 7 months. When they discover people are going back on the street, they just recently announced that the panel is going to resume work. Meanwhile, Abuja still has some SARS operation going on in the place they call Abattoir, where my nose was broken last January. So those guys are still intact. They are still searching phones. They are still harassing people. They are still, extorting money from young people. So without dealing with these things, you start, insulting people by telling them that they can't go out and exercise their fundamental rights to freedom of expression, press, association, and those things that are guaranteed internationally. So I don't think they get it, but they're going to get it very soon because this is a generation that is here for liberation. They found their voice and they will never lose it regardless of the threats.
Well, I guess that's a good place to anchor our conversation. Omoyole Sowore, publisher, Sahara Reporters, as well as a former presidential candidate. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak with us on our Primetime News.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so there you go. This is Galaxy TV News. Perhaps we should go back to state congresses held nationwide today. It's conducted by the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party. The All Progressive Congress, faction loyal to the state governor, Dapo Abiodun, has produced Chief Yemi Sanusi as the state chairman of the party. The Congress was conducted under the supervision of a 7-man committee led by Chief Wale Ohu. The faction also adopted consensus approach shortly after some opposing aspirants withdrew from the contest. Wale, while addressing the gathering, informed that all aspirants from different elective positions of the party were duly screened. On Friday, submitted that 1,730 delegates participated in the Congress, which was conducted in a peaceful atmosphere. Governor Abiodun, while addressing the gathering, asked the newly elected officials to be loyal to the party. He also frowned at those fanning the embers of political violence in the state and vowed to deal with them.
And what we are going to have here today, we have just 2 approaches to electing the officers. We have the consensus and we have the voting. For the consensus, when we have anybody for any of the offices without opposition, which means that single person has been agreed upon in the consensus form. And to this end, I urge all members of our party to close rank so that together we can present a formidable team at the poll. I seize this opportunity to congratulate all newly elected party officers from the ward to the state. I implore you all to take your election as a call to duty and dedicate political acumen to manage whatever branch or arm of the party given to you to tender.
Your loyalty is to none other but APC. That is the platform that has made it possible for you to occupy this position today. We must continue to ensure that that APC brand continues to shine. We stayed in this party. Adako, we didn't go anywhere. Our peace and security is what continues to earn us as the investment destination.
Now, in another twist, there was heavy shootings in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, as a faction loyal to former governor of that state, Senator Ibikola Amosu, converged on the Ake Palace ground to elect the para-executive members of the APC. However, pandemonium broke out when some hoodlums stormed the ground located within the palace of the Alake of Egbala and Adedotu Badebo in the state capital and opened fire on the Amosu loyalists. The thugs, numbering about 20, attacked party members and smashed windscreen of vehicles parked in front of the palace. Unconfirmed reports said one person was feared dead, while about 3 others sustained injuries during the violence. Amosu loyalists, about 30 minutes later, regrouped at the venue and went ahead with the Apparel Congress, electing Chief Derry Adebi as the state chairman of the 36-man EXCOs. They adopted consensus arrangement to elect the EXCOs and affirmed by the delegates. In attendance were the Minister for Mines and Steel Development, Olaleko Adegbite, the senators representing Ogun East and West in the National Assembly, Leko Mustafa and Tolu Odebi, the governorship candidates of the Allied People's Movement APM, Abdul Kabri Akinlade. Watching the news on Galaxy TV, All Progressive Congress, APC, suspends its state congress in Oyo State. That story is just ahead on the other side. Please stay with us. Well, good to have you back. This is Galaxy TV News. Now, for more updates and latest news, visit our website at www.galaxytvonline.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Galaxy TV Nigeria. You can follow or interact with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. If you have breaking news around you, you can avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. Simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment. Now, the Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, has suspended the ongoing state congress in Oyo State. The chairman of the Caretaker Committee and governor of Yobe State, May Malabuni, gave the order and also directed the State Congress Committee to return to Abuja for further directives. It was, however, a day of mixed feelings for the members of the Oyo State chapter of the APC when the ongoing Congress was abruptly called off on Saturday. Now, many of the members who spoke with correspondent Kunlo Joe on condition of anonymity said they were surprised at the development but would comply with the directive.
From Abuja is that today's Congress has been cancelled. So we are postponing it. It's going to hold another time. We are sorry, we apologize, we sincerely apologize. It's not for any bad reason. It's for a good reason. We want to see that we conclude all the arrangements we are making on some issues. Very soon, we are going to conclude and we are going to hold our Congress.
I cannot comment because I have not gotten the read something. That's why we are here. If they postpone it, we abide with it. Because authority will come from somewhere. There are processes, there are rules, there are regulations banning the party. Some people are in authority. Whatever they say is final. You get me?
In the meantime, no fewer than 60 vehicles were vandalized by suspected political thugs along the Obafemi Awolowo Stadium, Okeado, Ibadan, close to the venue of the Parallel People's Democratic Party State Congress. A delegate to the Congress was said to have been seriously attacked by the hoodlums whose identity remained unknown as of the time of this report. Correspondent Kunlojo reports that the suspected thugs invaded the area while elections of state party officials was ongoing and destroyed cars parked by party members and visitors. It was also gathered that Officers of the Oyo State Police Command and their counterparts from the State Security Service repelled the intruders who fled the area. As at the time of this report, owners of the affected vehicles were seen discussing the ugly development, while they made frantic efforts to move their vehicles from the scene. Well, still in Oyo State, the state chapter of the People's Democratic Party has produced 2 chairmen following the conduct of 2 congresses on Saturday in Ibadan. The first exercise held at the Lagos Salami Stadium in Ibadan was attended by Governor Seyi Makinde and the Congress committee members, while the second event was held at the Jogo Center by some aggrieved members of the party. Our correspondent Kunle Ojo tells us more.
The crisis rocking the Oyo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party came to its climax on Saturday as the party held 2 separate state congresses. The 2 state congresses were held at the Lagos Salami Stadium and Jogo Event Center in Ibadan, with party faithful in attendance. As expected, security agencies were fully in attendance to ensure safety of lives and property at the 2 separate events. The State Congress held at Lagos Salami Stadium had in attendance national officers of the party, while organizers of the parallel Congress at the event center claimed that officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission were on ground to witness the event. However, at the 2 events, there were elections for the contestants, despite the fact that consensus method was adopted. At the Lagos Salami Stadium, Dayo Ogungbero emerged as the state chairman of the party, while Governor Makinde and the chairman of the Congress committee speak on the exercise.
I am honored as chairman of the 2021 PDP State Congress for Oyo State to announce the following results. Having gone through a free, fair, and transparent process, the following aspirants have been duly elected and so return sequel to the results recorded in respect of their various names and offices. The committee, that is this committee, appreciates the delegates from across the 33 local governments of the state for their peaceful conduct.
It's very symbolic. I congratulate the executives that we have just elected today. It is historical. This is the first time that we're coming for an elective Congress and the situation is carnival-like.
At the State Congress held at Jogo Center, Michael Okunlade emerged as the chairman of the party in the states. Leaders of the party at the event commended party faithful for their dedication.
It's wonderful. We have done the accreditations, and the delegates that are here, incidentally, are the same delegates that were elected in 2017 during the World and Local Government Congresses. They are still the same that are repeated here, and they are the ones that are participating in this State Congress today.
Grace of God, PDP will be brought back to its past glory. As you can see what we are facing today, all the crises within the PDP, I can assure you, in a couple of months will be resolved.
With this development, national leaders of the party are expected to look into the outcome of the 2 events and decide the way forward for the party in the states. From Ibadan, Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
And in Ondo State, Ade Timain has emerged as the state chairman of the All Progressive Congress APC during the state congress in Akure, the state capital. Delegates adopted consensus candidacy for the new executives of the party. In his remarks, the Deputy Governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, charged the new executives to bring all party members on board.
All the ESCO, that none of you should disappoint the party. And I believe you will not disappoint the party. This party is ours. This party is yours. This party is mine. We will continue to celebrate APC.
We have witnessed one of the most peaceful elections to elect our state executive members of our party. I want to thank Mr. Governor for his leadership role
You have seen what transpired here. It's one of the most peaceful primaries that I've ever seen, and one of the most peaceful people that I've ever seen. Everybody is happy. You could see the joy in everybody when we call the name of the state ESCO members. It's one of the peaceful Congress that I've ever seen.
Members of one family. APC in Ondo State is one large family. And because we have the leader, Arakuni Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, the governor of the state, senior advocate of Nigeria, has led the
fight, unlike before, during the gone are those days when it was turbulent. Then some past but this time around it was very peaceful. You see, we did everything, even from work to the local government, and now here we are for the state.
And away from party politics, the Kogi state government has demanded a public apology from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, over controversies around bailout funds. I recall that the EFCC had filed a suit seeking the forfeiture of 20 billion naira bailout funds granted to the Kogi state government by a commercial bank. Governor Yaya Bello made the demands through the secretary to the state government, Dr. Folashade Ayode, alongside the Commissioner for Information, Evangelist Kingsley Fawo. They made the remarks on the sideline of an event put together for senior political and crime editors, insisting that the state has been vindicated.
That Kogi state is being vindicated is to show the whole world that after all, we didn't have any 20 billion naira meant for payment of salaries in a fixed account. That is exactly what is clear to everybody now.
We have called on EFCC. We have no problem with EFCC. We have called on them to tender a public apology to the state that what they reported earlier was very wrong. And now they have discovered that it is not even the money they were talking about did not belong to the state. And they have asked the Sterling Bank to return the money that belongs to CBN. So what came to the state as bailout had been applied since 2017. So it's very unfortunate. We are expecting them to tender a public apology. Failure to do so, the state government would take the next line of action.
Now, while congratulating winners of the GYB essay competition, the Kogi SSG and Commissioner for Information charged journalists to engage more in investigative journalism so as to contribute to nation building.
The way you report an incident really has a lot to do with the response of the masses, of the people. And that is why we introduced the symposium. We had the first annual GYB symposium in Abuja, and also to encourage correspondents that are upcoming.
When you are reporting what you've investigated, you'll be reporting what is factual, and that is going to help in informing rather than misinforming the society. So investigative journalism is something that we must promote because it is part of the ethics of the profession that you investigate and ensure that what you are reporting, what you are talking about, what you are informing the people about is what is fact and not an attempt to misinform them. Because when you are not investigating what you are reporting, there is every likelihood that what you report will be false, and false report can set the country, the society ablaze.
And we're speaking of investigations, the EFCC.
And now to other stories. Multina joined Celebration of Teachers as it held the 7th edition of Multina Teacher of the Year. The event centers on the efforts and importance of teachers in Nigeria. Ireba Misarako tells us more in this report.
The reward of teachers are in heaven is a saying commonly heard about the inestimable duties teachers carry out. Multina has deemed it fit to make sure the rewards of teachers is both on heaven and earth by celebrating teachers yearly. This year's 7th edition of Multina Teacher of the Year is aimed at celebrating their hard work and future molding duties because everyone reflects the task of a teacher.
A good teacher inspires hope, ignites the imagination, and instills a love of learning, literally shaping and changing lives. As individuals, a great part of who we are today and what we have achieved in life can be traced back to the education we received from our teachers.
It is therefore inspiring and commendable that for the 7th time and still counting, Nigerian Breweries PLC has chosen a valuable path to deploy its corporate social responsibility to intervene in the education sector with the view to appreciating teachers, thereby motivating them for better performance. This can only translate to one thing, and that is securing the future for the younger generation.
What really makes the difference in how countries perform? I found myself coming back to education. And central to education, teacher quality. And Nigerian Breweries helps us let teachers know that they are important. We thank you for this.
We really want to appreciate everybody once again, especially the Nigerian Breweries, for showcasing the importance of the Nigerian teacher. You know, people say that no country can develop or grow beyond the level of its education, but the teacher holds the key to that education. And so celebrating our teachers is really something that is wonderful. It will provide a feeling for these teachers and a big motivation for their lives across the country. So for what you are doing in Nigerian Breweries, we say a big shout out.
The award ceremony started with gifting the teachers who emerged champions from various states in the Federation.
I have the pleasure to invite Abanika Taye. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Abanika Taye. Jude Valentine Badaki, and he's the Adamawa State Champion.
Anambra State Champion, Umusu Joseph, Afamefuna. Congratulations.
The Yobe State Champion, Mortina Teacher of the Year, Ali Batinga.
And we have another award going to Emochua Ogu Samuel Ikechukwu from Bayelsa State.
Thank you. Thank you very much, please. Thank you very much. And please let's appreciate and applaud our president.
The peak of the entire event was announcing the Mortina Teacher of the Year. Over 1,000 teachers applied, but Abanika Taye from Delta State emerged as a Teacher of the Year. Isaac Pet from Taraba came in second, and Margaret Ofordum from Abuja in the third position. The event rounded up with jubilation and merry from both guests and awarded teachers. Iribami Salako, Galaxy TV News, Lagos.
In the meantime, the World Intellectual Property Organization has reiterated efforts at encouraging innovation and creativity in Nigeria's tertiary institutions through participation in intellectual property writing competitions. A country representative of YWIPO in Nigeria, Oluwatobi Modi, made the disclosure during a tour to meet with intellectual property institutions along with the 18 finalists of the 2021 National IP Writing Competition. And Modi said the focus of the competition is to build the capacity of students in Nigeria and to provide students with excellent opportunity to research and learn more about the field of intellectual property. Director General of the National Office for Science Acquisition and Promotion, Dan Azumi Ibrahim, called for the inclusion of intellectual property as part of general courses in Nigerian universities. Further questions from newsmen, the overall winner of the IP competition said she will be able to optimize her expertise in intellectual property as advancement in her career at law.
References you've made to the intellectual property policy that's ongoing, the model IP policy, and we look forward to working with you to actualize that, which we believe is going to be very important for the research and the work going on in universities across the country. We also will be encouraging the members of the winners and finalists here to take back to their universities news about like the detection anti-plagiarism software you've mentioned, the innovation challenge, and we really look forward to strengthening the collaborations with you.
We have our own limitations. We cannot dictate to NUC the kind, but I feel strongly that in some universities they do what we call GS courses. So that should be part of the GS courses, honestly, so that everybody within the university community will know about what IP is all about.
Plagiarism primarily stems from, first, the fact that many people don't know the legal implications of it, and then second, the fact that many people also don't understand the fact that they are capable of churning out original works.
Now, away from that, to guarantee sustainable food and nutrition security, all sectors and stakeholders must be fully engaged. This was the position of the Benue State government and many other actors who spoke on the 2021 World Food Day in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Governor Samuel Otom was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Agriculture, Margaret Ikpe, lauded their innovative ideas and called on more Nigerians to take to farming in order to starve of hunger, which is currently confronting families due to the global pandemic and the security challenges.
We can keep livestock and we have food. So let everybody, for us to feed ourselves, we just have to be farmers. We must be interested in farming, the youth, the women, everybody. That is the only way we can mitigate the hunger.
Meanwhile, Chairman of Ukum Local Government Council and the largest producer of yam in Nigeria and West Africa, Steve Ayua, said besides yam produce, they are looking at other value chains that boost revenue and food security.
Even though there's insecurity, even though there are lots of other challenges, I must tell you that Nigeria is not going to lack yam, especially now that I am the chairman of Ukum, because a lot of people who were not even living there have gone back home to go back to the farm. So yeah, we're doing our best.
Part of the result of the work-free holidays, and it's just a small fraction. This is the tip of the iceberg of production capability in Benue State. And so, like the representative of His Excellency said, if we all grow something in the backyard. If you go to my backyard, I have okra, I have tomatoes, I have green beans, I have lemons, I have bananas, I have plantain.
And away from Benue State, students, staff and residents of neighboring communities which play host to University of Benin have appealed for government's urgent intervention over erosion currently ravaging the communities. The University of Benin Ugbo campus is in the middle of two ravaging gully at the boundary between the institution and Eco-Sodin community, which is fast encroaching the official residential buildings of senior staff of the school, as well as the senior staff club and guest house. Some of the staff, students and community representatives spoke on the need for the government to help reclaim the land to prevent a disaster.
The only access route that one can easily connect or access University of Benin from the other side, other than the Ugbo-Lagos road, is this gully ravaged road. Now, what we are saying here is we have gone through the other side of the gully where staff quarters have been threatened. I learned and I know it's very clear some buildings are no longer used.
The appropriate authorities to please come to our aid, because this gully is small now. By 2 or maybe let's say 1 year after, I think it's going to be worse than this. So please, it is obvious that most of the times government abandon projects like this because they see it as minor. But by the time these things start taking lives, then they'll start running attention to it.
We are here to beg the government to come and assist us, because we have 5 communities caved out because of a road like this. We shall always have problem. So that is why we are here to beg those who can help us get this thing done, because there's an adage that says delay is dangerous. This thing has happened now more than 2 months, and we'll be crying.
And now in Rivers State, the Signage and Advertisement Agency has arrested 2 persons over display of pornographic content on a bill public billboard at Garrison Junction in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. The acting managing director of RISA, Anthony Okia, said this during an interview with newsmen at the location of the billboard. He said the agency is poised to ensuring unauthorized billboards are sanctioned by law in the state. Meanwhile, some residents and an eyewitness who saw the pornographic content of the billboard called for proper sanctions of the company that displayed it.
Cannot be negligent enough to cause public nuisance. When our attention was drawn late yesterday evening, we quickly swung into action. We had the culprits arrested. The Act number 55 of 1988 created APCON. And the job of APCON is to regulate and vet every media activities in Nigeria. You know, we're in the world, in the system that we have a small, all these little girls that are not ideal to watch such a film in a certain environment. So something are not supposed to be displayed on the board. But in the other case, because I learned that the person that owned that thing was just testing it based on the fact that they didn't know what was reflecting on that board there. So for my own sake, I look at it as a mistake on its own part. When the company that owns that thing should be sanctioned for them to realize their mistake that they have done, that is not ideal, that is not good.
I saw a film there, blue film showing. That was about 5:30. Yeah. I felt bad. I have to punish the company for showing that.
This is Galaxy TV News. Let's take yet another break. I'll be back in just a moment with more stories. Please stay with us.
We're starting the happiness movement with Molfix.
For baby's happiness, it is important to choose a dry diaper because with a dry diaper, babies do not have rash and are comfortable.
Nigeria's #1 choice of mothers, Molfix Air Dry, has the dryness all the mothers dream of because it's ultra absorbent and ultra breathable, so it stays dry and does not leak. Our babies do not have rash. Come on, mothers, try Molfix and join our happiness movement.
And now let's join our international desk for more reports.
Welcome to our international news. Russia on Saturday recorded 1,000 COVID-related deaths in a single day for the first time since the pandemic began. The figures had been rising all week, with the Kremlin blaming the Russian people for not taking up vaccination. Only about a third of the population had had a jab, amid wide distrust of the vaccines. Russia's figure of 222,000 COVID deaths is the highest in Europe, with another 33,000 infections reported on Saturday. The government had avoided bringing in strict restrictions because it says it needs to keep the economy working. The Kremlin had instead focused on public apathy on vaccination. This week's spokesman Dmitry Peskov said, quote, "In a situation where infections are growing, it is necessary to continue to explain to people that they must get vaccinated. It is really irresponsible not to get vaccinated. It kills," he said. The government insists the health system is not being overwhelmed and can cope with the rising number of patients. However, Health Minister Mikhail Murashko urged workers who had left practices because of COVID fears to get vaccinated and come back to work. The number of active cases of infected people in Russia is around 750,000, also the highest it has been since records started in February 2020. Overall, infections since the outbreak began are now closing in on 8 million.
And now to wrap things off, let's join the entertainment desk for more stories.
On entertainment news, Mary Remy Njoku has told her followers that marriage is complicated and it's best to stay out of couples' issues unless they ask for help. The Nollywood actress and producer explained that in marriage, 1 minute you want to take a bullet for your partner and the next minute you want to hand them. She then said that people should try not to get involved when married couples are having issues, saying that they would always settle in whatever way they want. In another news, a few weeks ago, Darren Nollywood actress Chioma Ifemele DK made an open confession alleging that she had a romantic relationship with the very Nigerian cleric Apostle Johnson Suleiman of the Omega Fire Ministry worldwide and was paid for it. A confession made with lots of backlashes, and Chioma went off social media for a while. However, Chioma maintained that her open confession would in no way affect her plans to get married and start up a family. Wondering how her family, her man, reacted to the news of her open confession, she said the man was very supportive while the family was tough because they were all angry, although still supportive. Meanwhile, popular relationship advisor Blessing Okoro has hit out at celebrities who buy expensive phones and cannot put them to optimal use. She questioned why a celebrity will own a phone worth of 1.5 million naira and still be paying photographers to do photo shoots, maintaining that their phones can take powerful photos and shoot powerful videos. Blessing made the comment via her Instagram page, and she further blasted celebrities with expensive phones that still pay for photo shoots every day and only use them on Facebook and Instagram. Now, talking about relationship advice, actor Kenneth Okonkwo has advised people to quit any relationship if they cannot comfortably communicate how they feel to their partner. The actor shared this advice in a post shared on his IG page, and he notes that the worst possible thing that can happen to any relationship is for partners to second-guess each other due to a breakdown in or lack of communication. He pointed out that talking about issues could be exhausting, especially if your partner is someone who doesn't listen or put in effort to change things. He went on to advise that if your relationship has gotten to the point where you no longer communicate your feelings to each other, then quit. Also said that it's better to liberate yourself from the emotional, psychological, and mental torture than to remain stuck in it. He termed it perpetual suffering. And finally, on entertainment news, the Queen has been ordered to quit drinking by royal doctors. Her Majesty, who is in good physical health and has been seen using a walking stick during recent engagement in Wales with no specific medical reason given, has allegedly been advised to forego alcohol except for special occasions due to a busy autumn schedule. According to two sources close to the monarch quoted in a magazine, doctors have also given the advice ahead of the monarch's platinum jubilee celebrations next June. The monarch is rarely seen drinking in public, but according to palace sources, just like his son Prince Charles, our alcoholic beverage of choice is often a dry martini. Her doctors want to make sure she's as fit and healthy as possible. A second source was quoted. And that'll be all on entertainment news.
Well, that's your Galaxy TV News at this time. On behalf of the production team and everyone here, thank you so much for your company. We urge you to please keep safe. I am Kelly Egiga, and I will see you again next time. Bye.